Ben Hayburn. Gabe Eichert moving over as we take a look at the results around the Big 12 today. Texas A&M lost their second straight game after having a big lead. Robert Griffin, RG3, had another big game, but a late interception hurt them. And Kansas State, Bill Snyder's team, getting it done at Miami last week and this week against Baylor. Seth Dagey, terrific quarterback for Texas Tech. Look at the accuracy. And they've won. They're undefeated. We'll see them next week against Texas A&M. And Landry Jones, you just talked about him. 5 more touchdowns as his Heisman campaign continues to mount.
There's an injured player on the field. And in the meantime, while Leonard Johnson is being looked at, let's go to Kevin Frazier for a game break.
Let's check in on Notre Dame and Purdue's Fighting Irish clearly in control here. Tommy Rees, the touchdown pass. If you look at Notre Dame's schedule, Charles, they have 6 very winnable games before their last game against Stanford. What do you think?
Kevin, before the season began, I said Notre Dame would be in a BCS Bowl. They have 2 losses. Here's the key for Notre Dame, remember. If they just win 9, they're in the mix for a BCS game. And we all know that if Notre Dame gets 9 and they're in the mix, BCS Bowls will be hard-pressed to not take the Fighting Irish. So I think they've got a great opportunity still to get to a BCS Bowl, just what you said, Kevin, based on schedule. But the other part is they're playing a whole lot better than they did the first couple of weeks.
So Leonard Johnson, the injured Cyclone. Let's take a look to see what happened. That's what happened. He ran into Jake Knott.
And then at the end, it's that Rumpelhammer, number 97. He actually put the big hit on him. Knott, Johnson helping, and then Rumpelhammer helmet to helmet, unfortunately, hits his own teammate.
8:39 to play, 4th quarter. Back to Ames right after this. Fox College Football is presented by Russell Athletic, who reminds you that together we are. And brought to you in part by Chrysler, imported from the D. 8:39 to go here in the 4th quarter, and Leonard Johnson is still on the field. Cyclone, as well as Longhorn players, have knelt down and said prayers for Leonard, and they brought the stretcher out. And it's important to say that generally when this happens and they bring out the stretcher, it's for precautionary purposes. And quite often it looks worse than it actually is. But they want to make sure that players get the ultimate care, and that's why these crews work extremely hard pregame practicing this procedure to make sure that there's no chance for players to be permanently damaged.
Medical crews around the country all do a fantastic job helping these young men, and here comes Paul Rhodes to check on his player, which is something I always like to see out of a head coach when you have an injury of this sort. You go check on that player. You sat in those rooms and told mom and dad, I'm going to take care of your boy. I love when they come over and do this because it's the right thing to do. And Paul Rhodes is that type of an individual anyway.
Leonard Johnson, senior from Clearwater, Florida. Had the big personal foul penalty after headbutting David Ash. And he was momentarily in Coach Rhodes' doghouse, but he put him right back out on the field.
He's one of their better players. They needed him to have an opportunity to win tonight. We certainly hope he's going to be okay. You know, one error that we saw tonight, that doesn't take away from the fact he's a pretty good kid. You know, in the offseason, he ran a football camp back at home for kids who couldn't afford to go to football camp. Brought a couple of teammates in, Jeremiah George, Jarvis West. They came in and helped.
And you see Johnson moving his fingers.
Always an encouraging sign. That's good.
Once again, quite often when they bring the stretcher out for an injured player, whether it be in pro football or in college football, it's for precautionary reasons. Back after this. All right, Leonard Johnson giving the thumbs up as he is put on the cart and will be taken into the locker room. Mack Brown even went out and had some encouraging words for the young man. That's what you like about Mack Brown. There's a I don't want to say grandfatherly quality about him, but I'm going to use that word anyway. You just want to be around him. You know that he treats kids, you know, the way a kid needs to be treated. Coach Brewster, you were with him for 13 seasons, also at Texas. Mack Brown's a good man.
Gus, nobody's done it better over the time that Mack Brown's been coaching. He's one of the winningest coaches in college football, but more importantly, he's got great compassion for young people. His kids graduate, his players do the right thing. He's been a great mentor to me in my career, Gus.
As you see, Leonard Johnson wave to the fans. And I know that has to be a good feeling for not only the fans in attendance, but his teammates and also the Longhorns as well.
And don't forget Leonard Johnson's family, who may be watching, may be here in attendance. It's a big, big deal. So it's good for all of us to see him, you know, give a little thumbs up. And we're certainly hoping he's going to be okay and on his feet very quickly.
And as soon as we know something about Leonard's status, we will pass it along. 2nd down and 6 to 32 for Texas. Play fake. McCoy rolling. Throws on the run. Oh! Woo! Jones with the reception. But what a hit by Washington.
Jaquez Washington, the free safety, takes on the tight end, Dominique Jones. Striking hit. Jones does a nice job possessing the football on the catch.
1st down and 10 at the 19. Here's a pitch. Brown. And Brown gobbled up by Jake Knott.
That type of play call there, Gus, qualifies as a physical run that Texas was trying to get back to the whole offseason, back to running the football. Sure, they'll do some razzle-dazzle. They'll do some deceptives, as Coach Brewster talked about with Brian Harsin. But at the base of this offense that Brian Harsin brought with him and implemented, power running. Boise State always averages around 200 yards a game in running the football.
2nd down and 6 at the 15. McCoy drops it off, and it's caught. Barrett Matthews with the reception. Gets close to the 1st down.
Now, at the start of the half, Coach Brewster said 0-0 for both teams, and one of Iowa State's goals was to win the 2nd half. Right now, they're up 7-zip, so it's time for their defense to dig in and try and pay off one of those goals.
As Coach Brewster has been saying all game long, self-inflicted wounds for this man's team. Turnovers. McCoy incomplete. On 3rd down and 3, that brings up 4th down. But turnovers, 3 turnovers in the 1st half, 2 fumbles, an interception by Jantz, a missed 29-yard field goal. Leonard Johnson with a personal foul when the Cyclone defense had a chance to get off the field, resulted in a 1st down and an Ash to Mike Davis touchdown. A block punt resulting in a touchdown for Texas as well. And that's the story. Texas limited mistakes this evening. Justin Tucker, 2 for 3 on field goals, 29 yards away. He gets it. He's now 3 for 4. All right, let's take a look at our Sprint Unlimited update. Charles.
I think you detailed it quite well, Gus. There's an early error on the handoff. It hits the ground, Texas gets it. Kickoff return hits the ground, Texas gets it. Blake Gideon with the interception. Michael Thompson with the block. Josh Turner turned it into a touchdown. Those were examples of the self-inflicted wounds. Those balls on the ground early, not able to complete handoffs, not protecting it in kickoff return. Short fields for Texas. And at one point, remember, it was only 13-0 when it had a chance to be 28-0. So Iowa State was hanging in there, but you can only do it so long if you keep turning the ball over.
13 points off 3 turnovers plus the block, punt, touchdown. A lot of smiles on that Texas sideline. They come into Ames and take care of business the way they were supposed to. Jarvis West back deep, but this will be Lenz. And Lenz driven out of bounds at the 37. All right, let's take a look at the USA Today coaches top 10.
See, Oklahoma handled Ball State easily. LSU, the same with Kentucky. Alabama leading at Florida. Stanford getting ready to get started. Boise State, talk about revenge against Nevada, 30-10 after Nevada upset their season last year. Oklahoma State was off. Wisconsin leading big against Nebraska. There won't be much shakeup in the top 10 this week.
Far side, and it's West down the sideline, knocked out of bounds. Edmond, Steve Edmond, the freshman, has made a bunch of plays tonight for UT.
Oh, get ready, Texas. I think 33 quickly will become a fixture in the middle of the Texas defense for the next 3-4 years.
First down and 10 at midfield. And this time, Jeff Woody runs the football. So for the Longhorns, they will remain undefeated and head to Dallas next week for the Red River Shootout. West again. The scat back, and he goes down. Let's take a look at the Texas schedule. Number 1 Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl next week. That's going to be a tremendous game. Followed by number 6 Oklahoma State. 3 defining games for Mack Brown's squad, and he and his team making a terrific statement on the road this evening.
I dubbed it the revenge tour for Texas. Went to UCLA 2 weeks ago. Check, got it done. Iowa State here tonight. Another check, got it done. If they get an opportunity, Gus, if they are able to complete the next 2 weeks on the revenge tour and beat Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl and then Oklahoma State, now we're talking about what Texas typically plays for each and every year. A chance to go to a BCS Bowl and potentially play for a national championship. If they win all 4 of those games, they have that opportunity to get into that conversation.
And Chris Young with the catch. Meanwhile, for Iowa State, 3-1 record. Jans continuing to grow and learn, and next week they'll be in Waco to take on Baylor.
See, and that's going to be difficult because of Robert Griffin III, but to me it's a great opportunity for Iowa State. Baylor might be down a little bit after losing at Kansas State. This is an Iowa State team that has designs on going to a bowl, and there's no reason why they can't get that done.
Jans running the football. 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the ball game. Steele Jans, young man that at one time, as he completes it, Hammerschmidt, Steele Jans at one time, folks, was living in his van, sleeping in his van.
I think it's a flatbed in the back. When he was at City College of San Francisco, didn't have enough money, no place to go, would live in that, sleep in it, and then go into the athletic facilities and shower each day. And while he was doing that, actually picked up a couple of roommates who actually slept in the back with him until they were all able to get on their feet financially. So this is obviously a guy who had his eye on a dream and a goal and wasn't going to let anything deter him.
Overachiever, Jans, end zone. Touchdown, Chris Young.